My name is Shalom, and we started these conversations, we started this lesson yesterday, and we'll be doing that every day this week at the same time. As you can see, the title of the room is The Exporter's Guide. This is my blueprint on how to become a successful exporter. So I'll give you a bit of my background and let you know why I'm qualified to speak on this. I am from Nigeria, West Africa, and I currently do international trade between West Africa, or I should say the African continent in general, and other parts of the world. Now, this has been something I've been doing for the last few years and have had some previous experience over the last decade exporting different things, importing different things. However, the last number of years have been primarily focused on agricultural exports from West Africa to other parts of the world. I've been successful at doing some of this. I get a lot of questions about it. I get a lot of messages from people wanting to learn how to become successful at exporting. And we started yesterday with me explaining a few things. Exporting is a point in the value chain. It's a specific point. And there are several opportunities around the business of exporting that hopefully through this process you can learn. Today, I'm going to focus more on an export plan. You need to have an export plan. After you do your research, then based on your research, you have to come up with a plan, a strategy. How am I going to enter this American market? And I'll share with you guys a bit on how I was able to do that with America. Now, like I said, I'm born and raised in Nigeria, West Africa, and then went to school in America. And before moving back to Nigeria, I began doing some research that helped me identify a specific product, that product being hibiscus. And once I understood that product and the market potential of it and how to enter the market, then I went back and started working on my supply chain. So you have to have an export plan. Having an export plan is definitely essential to export business. So some of the questions you want to ask is, does your team do you have a long-term commitment to exports? This is not a business. Exports is not an area that is short-term. If you're exporting by sea, for example, it takes, depending on where you're sending it to, it may take several months for it to just arrive. In a day and age where people are used to quick delivery and Amazon Primes, this feels like forever. While it's in transit, that's money that's just waiting. So you have to have a long-term commitment to exports. If not, I don't believe you'll be successful at it. And when I say long-term, you should have at least a 10-year plan or a 10-year commitment to exports if you want to be an exporter. Like I mentioned, there's several things you'll learn around opportunities in the export business that perhaps are services where you don't need a product. You may already have the skills. So an export plan. Do you have an export plan? All right. I'll give you some tips on what an export plan will have. Well, you have, we already talked about the product. So selecting the right products is important. That will determine some of your success, because you definitely don't want to be exporting things that don't have a demand. So it's very crucial and important that you do that. You have to define your unique value proposition, meaning what is it that you're offering to the market, right? What makes you different from your competitors? Sometimes I've gotten this question before in the past, where people have asked, aren't you scared of competition? Because I share transparently what I do. I love competition. As I share, I'm sure you can probably tell. If you can't, I come from a competitive professional background. So competition is good. It keeps you innovative, keeps you on your toes, keeps you have to define your own lane. We can all be from the same place, but I may have a very different experience. And I have something unique about myself. Each person does. You just have to find out what that is. So what is it that makes you different from the competition? And what is it that you're offering? Your export plan should also include your distribution channels. Do you have a road to market? After you do the exports, who are you selling it to? You need to know those. So your distribution channel is important. Who's your end user? Are you selling to distributors? Are you selling to retailers? Are you selling direct to consumer? Okay. Then marketing, promotional instruments. whether you're using your website, social media, brochures, catalog, trade shows, whatever it is, you should have a marketing plan. And then make sure you also have a pricing strategy. What's your pricing strategy going to be? Okay? And it needs to be competitive. If you're going to play an international business, international trade and exports, you will need to have that as part of your export plan. And then the right people. You can't do exports alone. You can't. So having the right people, the right human resources is important because those skills need to be relevant to export. There's certain things in export that I'm just not good at. But I have found the experts in those things and hired them. So you will need people with actual skills, not just this person is my friend or is my brother, is my cousin, I just want to do. No, this is business. And international trade exports is an area that you can lose some money real quick if you make the wrong choices. So selecting the right people that have the relevant export skills. Just because they come from they can be the president of a central bank, it doesn't matter. If he doesn't have export skills or knowledge, he just won't be successful at it, okay? And then having the right promotional materials for that foreign market. So if you're exporting something and it's in English, but you're sending it to a country that speaks French, or a country that speaks Spanish or Latin or whatever, a different language, then you want to make sure that you have the right tools to send that right message. Your tone of voice is important. The way we speak in Nigeria might not be the way you speak to somebody in Ghana or somebody in South Africa or somebody in America or somebody in the UK. There's often a different tone of voice and cultural nuances in different societies, in different cultures. So it's important to know and understand those things. These are important in building and developing an export plan, okay? So let me stop there and